I think my boyfriend is unattractive, but I always call him handsome and cute. I've been dating this guy and I honestly really love him. I think he's pretty unattractive and I think I'm pretty unattractive too, to be honest. I don't really care for appearances when it comes to liking people. I guess my aesthetics are kinda weird because I don't think humans are aesthetic in general. Some are better than others, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, this would be fine, but when I met him he was quite shy and had such low self-esteem. I've always tried to give him many compliments and call him cute and handsome. And he is very cute, just not handsome. He told me I gave him a lot of confidence and he's really come to terms with his appearance. I've tried brainwashing myself, but I don't think I'll ever see him as handsome. I don't think I'll ever tell him because I love him to bits and I would hate to make him sad.
I found out that my girlfriend of 9 months is part of Mean Girls type clique and am reconsidering the relationship. I met this girl I'll call Katie at a school event about a year ago and we really clicked and soon made things official. I understand that I saw things partly through rose-colored glasses, but I really like this girl to the point that I started thinking she might be the one. We just matched well on every level, have similar hobbies, but importantly I thought she was a really good and kind person. Now something happened that really made me reevaluate things. We were sitting in bed and she was texting and laughing about something. I glanced at the phone and saw the Tinder profile of a guy, which made me think, what the F. When she went to take a shower, I am not super proud of this. I admit I snooped given what I thought I saw and checked her phone. When her phone opened up, it turns out that she wasn't on Tinder, but rather on a group chat with some friends, and the Tinder picture was a screenshot. Of course that was a relief, but the rest of the context was just as bad in some ways. The group chat was basically a one-topic channel, where the theme was roasting the guys they hooked up with or were dating, and it was very explicit, talking about specific guys, together with their pictures and joking about their inadequacy in bed or even how ill-endowed they were. As far as I scrolled, I wasn't featured on there, but I saw Katie herself write really mean comments. Example, about a guy her friend was with who got emotional during lovemaking, basically calling him a pathetic loser. I was just shocked to read those comments, because it seemed so out of character for her. When she got back in the room I fessed up to the snooping and confronted her. Surprisingly she wasn't really mad, but she also wasn't remorseful in the least. She said the chat was with her closest friends and they always talked about everything. I told her I thought it was really messed up to talk this way about other people, especially since it wasn't just randoms. I recognized a few mutual friends discussed on there in an explicit way and I am sure they didn't consent to that information being discussed. But again she got really defensive, said those were her closest friends and what they talk about is their business. I asked her if she talked about us as well, and she refused to answer. The conversation kind of tapered off at that point since we both realized we were too emotional and not getting anywhere. But I still feel very uncomfortable with the situation. I am afraid to be overreacting, but I am very seriously thinking about ending the relationship. I can't believe I am dating someone who thinks it's okay to treat other people this way and join in the public humiliation of people who did nothing wrong. But I would like some outside perspective from others if they've been in any kind of similar situation and or if they think I am blowing this out of proportion.
Today I messed up by taking it up the rear on the first date. I just came home from the most embarrassing date ever and now I want to curl up into a ball and evaporate. I went on this date with a guy. Let's call him Lenny. Anyway, Lenny and I had a great time at the start of our date. I truly felt that we had an amazing connection, and the lead up to it with us texting and talking on the phone every now and then was also amazing, but the amazingness was about to explode in great globs of fire. We eventually went back to his place and quickly wound up exposed. Things were getting hot and heavy, and me having a bit of rear end fixation. I exclaimed mid-lovemaking, "I want you to F my arse." Lenny obliged, but since I didn't prep we took it to the bathroom, where there was inevitably a bit of mess, but nothing too concerning, though it certainly did seem to loosen some stubborn stools. After the deed was done and we cleaned everything up, we went back into Lenny's bedroom where we cuddled. I could feel a fiery hot gas making its way out of my tender hole. It was too forceful to control, and what happened next was terrifying. Brown lava shot out of me like a geyser. Lenny had turned pale as a ghost and I was lost for words, as I couldn't fathom that I crapped on this man's bed, and got some on his leg. He remained calm, let me tear up his bathroom like a hurricane and clean up once more. After what felt like an eternity, I left, having apologized profusely in lieu of ruining this poor man's night. Safe to say there won't be a second date.
I read my girlfriend's diary and it confirmed my suspicions. We have been dating for almost a year now and I thought things were really good between us. I also knew that she had a boyfriend with whom she was about to get married and he suddenly got cold feet and moved across the country leaving her behind. It took her some time to get over it, but that was 5 years ago and I assumed she had nothing more than a bad memory now. Well, 3 weeks ago we were at the birthday party of one of her friends when someone said that the guy is back in town. I could see her facial expression change, but I thought it's just curiosity mixed with alcohol. But I have noticed that she is looking stressed over the past 3 weeks and even refused to see me on a couple of occasions, which she had planned for. And yes, I am assuming all of this is happening because of the guy coming back, but when I asked her she denied it. Anyways, I was spending the weekend at her place when I remembered that she told me once she writes a diary regularly. Yes, I know it's a terrible idea, but I was really desperate to know what was going on. So I read the diary when she was sleeping and it confirmed my suspicions. She had written about how she is struggling with herself once she found out he is back. She wants to see him, hold him, and wants to know why he did what he did. She had also written that she would ask him if this time around it would be different in case they got together. But she also mentioned that she was struggling because she is building something with me and that I didn't deserve to be left alone and abandoned like she was all those years ago. It was basically a fight between her heart and her brain. I am not upset at what she wrote. I feel sorry for her, but I also don't want to be in a relationship where my partner is with me because it's the right thing to do. I deserve love and passion rather than a sense of duty. Please advise on how to proceed. Today I messed up by agreeing with my wife about her getting bigger cannons. My wife and I were chatting about a friend of hers who apparently is getting a mommy makeover. Basically it's a cosmetic surgery package for after you have a kid where they do lipo, tummy tuck, breast augmentation, etc. As my wife put it, clean up all the damage pregnancy does to your body. Her friend is apparently also getting larger implants done as part of this procedure to quote, go up a few sizes. My wife knows I am a chest guy. I really enjoy hers. I do. And also her chest gets really big during pregnancy. They do. We're talking from B cups to solid double Ds. So she then goes, maybe I should get a Canon job. To which I reply, well you can never have too much of a good thing. And I immediately regretted saying anything other. No need, you're hot and attractive as is. This of course sent her down the, oh really, well what else would you change about me, rabbit hole, and me attempting to remove my foot from my mouth while digging myself out of this hole. Full disclosure before anyone asks, no I don't think my wife needs cosmetic surgery. I was thinking in the, what's better than 1 scoop of your favorite ice cream, 2 scoops of your favorite ice cream, mindset.
I hate my boyfriend's best female friend. My boyfriend, 22 male, his best female friend D, 27 female, and I, 23 female, are studying the same degree. We started dating less than a year ago during spring break, but he and D have been friends since first semester. I knew her, but we weren't very close. She was one of the first to know that we were a couple and she was happy for us. I didn't think anything weird about it, until a few months ago. She calls him quite a lot, almost 3 times a day. They're very brief calls and for mundane things like schedule, homework, tests, things that can be asked by text. My boyfriend doesn't hide anything from me. He always shows me that it's she who calls him and answers on loudspeaker. The first thing she does after greeting him is to ask, are you with her, me? And he says yes. Sometimes she calls him after 2 in the morning or when we are in the middle of intimacy, so it's annoying. What made me go from being annoyed to hating her was when we were assigned the same place for our practices. Everything was going well at first. Sometimes she gave me rides in her car, offered to go buy me lunch and let me work materials. I came to consider her a friend, until some time later. When other practitioners came, she got weird. She started referring to me as the idiot instead of my first name. If someone asked about a topic she would say, this idiot knows, or ask this idiot about it. I never had many female friends so I thought she was just being funny. Then she started criticizing me. If I made a mistake, didn't do things as she recommended me to or didn't support her in something, she would scold me as if she were my boss or my mom, always in front of the rest of the practitioners. I've always had a very peculiar humor, and I cannot hide it. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't want anyone to talk to me and I tend to snap back. When it happened, she immediately got angry and complained about me with the other practitioners, saying things like, doesn't it bother you that this idiot is so moody, or, tell this idiot to change her mood, which made me feel down. In addition, she organized a weekly lunch outing with all the practitioners on Thursday, my only day off from the practice. I don't want to tell my boyfriend because they're very good friends, and since he's an only child he values his friendships very much. I also don't want to be the typical jealous girlfriend who forbids her boyfriend from having female friends, but I can't stand it anymore. I've come to hate my practice. I don't know why she acts like this with me. I know she doesn't want my boyfriend because she has been in a relationship for years, and I'm not a confrontational person to make her stop. I got declined for an interview because I am poor. I'm qualified for the job and she even said so after accepting my 2-week late application because the other candidates weren't suitable. However, she asked me before the interview if I had family or friends in the city where the job is due its notoriously high rent. I asked if the wage listed was enough to live off of and she blatantly says no and hopes to raise it next year. She'll only hire people who have family or friends to lean on or are independently wealthy. Honestly, I appreciate her candor, but it just sucks I have to live in this capitalistic dystopia where I'm not able to get a job that I love and am qualified for without having prior wealth or support. I just needed to vent about this.
Update, my girlfriend of 4 years and I both tested positive for chlamydia and I don't know how to handle the situation. Well, I now know how I got chlamydia. I got a lot more comments than I expected on my previous post, most of them saying I should snap out of the delusion, but also some alternative suggestions of how it might have happened. People suggested that she might have lied about me being her first. At first I didn't think this could be it as we are both very feminist, and progressive generally, so it didn't feel like something she'd lie about. We are not religious either, but who knows, we had only known each other for about a year when we got together and maybe she got freaked out. Some people also suggested she might not see oral as losing V card, but we both do. The other possibility that seemed likely was that she had been S8 and either don't remember or didn't want to tell me. Anyway, after work I stopped by a youth clinic and did a new test just to make sure, as someone suggested. When I got home I spent the evening trying to figure out how best to ask her about these possibilities. I'm either suggesting she might have lied to me or possibly bringing up trauma, so I wanted to make sure I did it in the best way possible, but I won't have to worry about that anymore. Luckily she hasn't been S8 and unfortunately she didn't lie to me about being a virgin. The morning of my last post, I was eating breakfast and watching YouTube on our shared iPad like I usually do. I remembered that the iPad is logged into her Snap account. Just to make sure, I checked. If she's cheating, Surely Snap would be where she's talking to this guy, right? Didn't see any unfamiliar names. I did however see that she had an unread message from my best friend's girlfriend, female 23, I don't know why but I checked it. It said, "Gonna get tested today." At first I thought that they had just discussed it. They are friends after all. And she had decided to get tested as well. But I scrolled up and saw the conversation they had yesterday and well, I got cheated on. My girlfriend woke up about 5 minutes later and immediately asked me what was wrong. She said I looked pale. I sincerely apologized. Going through her private messages is not okay after all. And told her what I had seen. She came clean immediately. My best friend's girlfriend had only ever been with men. And my girlfriend had only ever been with me. Apparently, they were both questioning if they were bi. So while my best friend, male 24, and I were at the gym, they were hanging out at my best friend's place, like they usually do. That day the curiosity got the best of them and they made love. This was last year and she assures me it hasn't happened since and won't happen again. I'm not really sure how to feel right now. I always imagined that if I got cheated on I'd feel crushed, but I'm surprisingly neutral over it all. I don't know. My biggest worry right now is how I'm gonna tell my best friend about it. They've been together for almost 2 years and his New Year's resolution this year was to propose to her. He's gonna be crushed and I hate to think about it. We're going to the gym after work today so I'll tell him then. Just need to figure out how. I cheated on my then pregnant wife 26 years ago and lost the chance to know my daughter. About 26 years ago I cheated on my then pregnant wife, which I fully accept was 100% without a doubt a situation where I was fully in the wrong. I quickly admitted to it and she understandably went ballistic. She told me I'd never see my child ever and that she was gonna ream me dry with child support. Honestly, the first few weeks I tried to mend things. I told her that I'm not looking for forgiveness but I am sorry. I at least wanted to be a part of my daughter's life, but she was understandably angry and she stood by what she said. She did what she said that she would do and I honestly wanted it all to end without too much stress, so I didn't even bother with a lawyer. I lost the house, the car and everything I owned, and I had to move back to my parents' house, where I got the scolding of a lifetime. They shat on me for a week straight, but again I deserved it, so I never thought to fight back. I quickly bounced back since I had a pretty good job and moved to an apartment, and it had been a few months, so I tried to contact her again. I just wanted her to let me have a relationship with my daughter at least. She had been born at the time and I wanted to see her, nothing more. She still refused and told me that I'm never gonna see her ever again. Well, at that point I was at an all-time low. It was clear that I had made a mistake to not try fighting for the right to at least see her, but it was too late to think about this, so after a few months of depression I got over it and started dating again. It took a few dates but I found a new girlfriend. When we got serious I told her all about my past, my previous wife, my cheating and my daughter, and she was aware of everything I had done, but she chose to trust that I would never do it again. 24 years later I've almost moved past all that. I'm married with 2 beautiful kids and honestly life's great. I still have thoughts and curiosity about my daughter, but from what I can gather from my ex-wife's social media, she married a brilliant guy and they raised her well and even gave her a brother. She inherited my hair and eyes and was a swimmer and excellent tennis player like me. She did well in school and graduated salutatorian. She got into college and my ex-wife gave me a chance to chip in for a car to celebrate that achievement. It was medical school and she's currently a first-year resident. I wanted to be a doctor once upon a time, but I could never hack it in medical school, and seeing her succeed where I failed is a joy, but she doesn't know me. Not even a little bit. She doesn't know what I look like. She doesn't know who I am and it doesn't seem like she's interested. I guess that is probably why my ex-wife gave me an opportunity to talk to her back when they were trying to get her a car for college, and she wanted to know if I still wanted to meet her back when they asked me to chip in for the car.